All right, part two. Still haven't gotten into the actual Steven Crowder video yet because I'm kind of giving background on my views and everything. I'm just basically new into this whole posting, blogging, whatever, YouTuber thing. Um, but to continue part one, when I got bused to going to two schools, yeah, Roberts Park, and I can't remember the other school, in these black neighborhoods, there were, mind you, black neighborhoods. No white people, maybe some other poor white people in the neighborhoods, but mostly black, predominantly black. And here they are, more than a few of them. I was a straight A student, on a roll, all that other stuff. And there were a few of those ghetto blacks that there was one girl in particular, as a matter of fact. Here I am making, A's, and this girl's making like A plus plus plus. But still, and her and I were in music together. We're singing Italian, we're singing opera, perfect. But when she spoke, ghetto ebonics. And I was like, and I had to ask, because as I said in the first video, I've always been curious about things, and there are no dumb questions, only dumb answers. So ask. And I was like, I'm just curious. Here we are singing opera. You're singing perfectly. You get better grades than everybody in the damn school, except for, some of the other Filipinos, and stuff. But how is it that you could sing perfect opera but can't speak English? And the excuse she gave, dumbass excuse, she gave was because I live in a black neighborhood. I was like, are there any Italians living in this black neighborhood? And she was like, well, no. I said, well, then how are you singing perfect Italian, opera, Latin, but you can't speak English? And she still didn't get it. For somebody so smart, she didn't grasp what I was saying. Because I live in a black neighborhood. And I was like, obviously, you're not understanding what I'm saying. You can't speak English, but you can sing Latin. Why? Perfectly, mind you. Why? Because of practice. Aha! I was like, now you get it. Practice. Why aren't you, considering we're in school, you're making better grades than most in the school. So obviously you're passing English, but you don't speak English. You're speaking ghetto. Which of course she had no answer for. And I was like, because you don't care. You're letting this weird, stupid, black excuse. I was like, hold you back. I don't understand. You're excelling in school. You're singing perfect freaking opera, but you can't speak English. I was like, so no, it ain't because you live in a black neighborhood. It's because you don't care. You don't care. Don't be trying to blame your environment. Don't be trying to blame other people. You. Then you got, of course, the ghetto ones that obviously just want to be freaking gangbangers and everything else, trying to blame white people. How is homegirl over here making all these great grades and she lives in the same neighborhood as you? And a whole bunch of other blacks that are making good grades and passing and doing good in school, but not the rest of you. Because don't say a black neighborhood because they live in your neighborhoods. Don't say the environment, which I don't even know if they could even pronounce that word. But don't blame the environment when you got people living in the same environment, doing what they should do. Oh, because they're nerds. Oh, so it's nerdy to want to get a job. It's nerdy to want to go to college. It's nerdy to want to make money. It's like, oh my God. You're nerds because you're doing good at school. No, I'm doing good in school because I don't want to be living in the ghetto. Simple as that. Now, a couple of years later, junior high, Northside Junior High, because it became middle later after I got out of there. Northside Junior High School, and the way I talk is the way I talk. I don't talk like a Virginian. This is from blacks and whites. I don't talk like a Virginian. I don't talk Southern, although my country accent does come out. You know, from of course, my time growing up in the country. My grandma on her farm and everything, up in Dahlgren. So my country accent does come out, but especially if I'm around a lot of my country friends or relatives. But I speak the way I speak because I wanted people to understand me. I knew I had stuff to say. I knew I wanted to ask questions. I knew I wanted to be respected. As Martin Luther King said, not by the color of my skin, but the content of my character, which is the way my mom raised us. I didn't want someone to go, oh, he's just a straight, nigger. Because I literally grew up in a white racist neighborhood with the Klan, when we first moved there. I didn't want to be defined. My mom, who came from the country, was like, no, don't. And my dad did too, as a matter of fact. Small town Kerrville or something like that in North Carolina. They didn't want us to have anyone define us, from them coming from poor to my dad joining the military and my mom, becoming, a chef, cook, and all that. Didn't let anybody stand in their way, and didn't want anybody standing in our way, especially based on just the color of our skin. So I did what I needed to do, excelling in school, speaking, to these racist people. And here's the thing, those racist white people spoke worse English than me. Now, to give an example of that, as I said, junior high, Northside Junior High School, and there was this whole racial crap that whites didn't start, but the bussed-in black people did, just because they were white. So, because, racism. Did you deal with racism, or did your parents, grandparents, and beyond deal with racism? Because, and this was my generation. The younger generation now definitely doesn't really know what the hell racism is, real racism. They definitely need to shut up with that mess. But my time, we still had open racism. Open. None of this, oh, he's a racist. Do you know he's a racist? No, but he's gotta be. No, back then when I was growing up, it was open, in your face, racism. But as I said, it was the blacks who started it. Now I'm standing off to the side. I'm friends with most of the whites, because I sure as hell don't like ghetto people. I don't. Has nothing to do with hating black people. No, as I said, Dr. Sam Morgan is black. But he's one of those Martin Luther King people, as in, I'm a human being. I'm not defined by the content of my color of my skin, but the content of my character. Has nothing to do with my race or any of that mess. Throw race out the damn window. So I'm friends with people who actually just want to do well, want to just exceed. The black people, here they are, like they're in school literally to disrupt shit. Like that was their whole purpose, the majority of them. Like that's what they were there for. Which I had many arguments with them going, get out. You don't want to be here, become truant, skip school, get out. Why are you here disrupting the rest of the entire class? I'm here to learn. We're here to learn. And as I said, I would confront them. I'd get in their face. Get out. Bye. Walk out of the class. It's not like the teacher's going to stop you. She'll call the truant officer or the police, but get out. You obviously don't want to be here. Go. Which I did figure out. No, they were there just to be a bunch of liberal, whiny little, I want attention. Me, 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 me. I want attention. So I'm going to disrupt the class because me, me, me. I want to be a class clown. Me, me, me. Yeah, like most liberals.
Mm-hmm. They grow the fuck up already.
So arguments going on in the hallway in between class, lunchtime, I think. And you know, as I said, the blacks picking on the whites for no reason. Nobody said anything to anyone. Nobody gave any dirty looks. Nothing. Just the blacks wanting to be disruptive on purpose. I'm off to the side. The Asians are off to the side. Filipino, everybody, literally off to the side watching this. I'm watching my Asian friends like, obviously the black people are just like, apparently the world's only just black and white. Like they don't see color. They just see black and white. You know, because as the argument's going on, I start piping in going, hey, I guess Conrad and the rest of y'all, I guess y'all don't exist. I guess y'all literally are invisible because he's like talking. They're literally talking like the world is just black and white. You know, like we're gonna have this race war and it's just gonna be blacks against. Oh, so no Native Americans, no Asians, no Hispanics, just black and white. And of course, they start going off on me. Well, nobody's talking to you. Shut up. You know, you're betraying your race. And I'm like, I'm mixed. Now, at the time, I wasn't until a few years back doing the whole DNA test of actually knowing what I am. But I can look at myself and know that I'm not just black. I'm not stupid. And so here's this argument going on. As I said, you're a race traitor because you're siding with the whites. And I'm like, I'm not siding with anyone. If they were picking on you, I'd be against them for doing the same damn thing. We were just walking in the hall and you just started picking on them because they were white. I said, so I'm going to be against you because of that. That has nothing to do with anything. Nobody said anything to you. Nobody attacked you. Nobody, you just want to be a jerk just for being a jerk, and I'm like, that I have a problem with. That's just me. I have a problem with anybody being a bully. And so the next comment comes out of the leader of these black guys. Next comment comes out where you're just trying to be white. Look at how you talk. You're just trying to be white. One of my white friends turns around and goes, whoa. Now, mind you, he lived in the trailer park. Didn't speak like I speak. He spoke basically ghetto white. And he turned around, he starts laughing because, and then everybody else starts laughing on this side. The Asians, everybody else on this side start laughing. I realized what they were laughing about, so I start laughing. They're like, what the hell are you laughing about? What are you laughing about? White friend turns around and goes, you just said that Mark's trying to fit in. He's speaking white. Mark speaks better English than we do, and we're white. So if we're white and Mark speaks better English than we do, what does that make him? Albino? And of course, everybody starts laughing at that point, humiliating the black people. So that it was just another stupid excuse incident that black people just want to blame someone else. Now you have ghetto black people, mind you. Let's clarify that, because Maxine Waters can have all the money she wants, but bitch is still ghetto. You can't take the ghetto out. Jay-Z, straight up ghetto. Beyonce all of a sudden became ghetto when she hooked up with Jay-Z, even though she wasn't ghetto. The Williams sisters were the way they were raised to not be ghetto, but ended up becoming ghetto. Like they had to gain their black cards back. Funny how that laugh would come in right at that moment. As I said, I don't give a crap about no stupid black card because I'm not just black. And I'm not defined by my race, even though I'm mixed. So I'm definitely not defined by my race, not defined by the color of my skin. You want to get to know me? You get to know me. That's it. I'm not going to let you define me. I'm not going to let anyone else have their views of defining me. Oh, Mark, you're a racist. Now, mind you, I'll point straight out. I am. I am a racist. Actually, no, that's kind of a bad word. That's kind of a weird word. It has nothing to do with race to me. It has to do literally with the content of that particular person, which happen to be ghetto black people, which happen to be liberals, whether they're white, black, whatever race. So actually, yeah, so not really a racist. I just don't like the content of ghetto people. I don't like the content of dumbass, weak ass, stupid ass liberals. No, that has nothing to do with race. So, after all these years, because I've actually said for years, since I was a teenager, I've said I was a racist. But now I realize, no, I'm not. It has nothing to do with it because I do have black friends. They are intelligent black friends, black family, black, not ghetto, not Negro, not nigger, black. Again, Martin Luther King, not the color of your skin, but the content of your character. If I don't like you, I don't like you. It has nothing to do with your skin color. It has to do with you being a dumbass, you being ghetto, and then, of course, the excuses come in. Well, I'm ghetto because of where I grew up. Okay, I know a lot of people who were ghetto. Why did they make it out? Why did they, Dr. Sam Morgan grew up ghetto, not because of who he is, but where he was at. He was in the ghetto wasn't in him. He didn't let his environment hold him down. So I can't stand people just excuse after excuse after excuse for their actions. Now, if somebody truly gets in your way, then that's completely different. Somebody actually got in your way, physically got in your way, or job-wise got in your way. Somebody actually stood in your way. But if no one is, and the thing is, the people stood in my mother's way, and she still became who she became. People stood in my dad's way, and he was like, get out of my way. I'm going to do what I want to do. I've done the same thing. I've done the same thing to blacks who've wanted to stand in my way just because I was light-skinned. This is literally first day of school, kindergarten. Dark-skinned black people. Oh, look, because I was a lot lighter than this growing up. And my eyes are partially slanted. So I was Native American, I was Asian, blacks, not the whites. Yeah, there were racist whites just because I was darker than them and was not clearly defined as Asian or Native American, but still was picked on, but mostly picked on starting first day of school, kindergarten, first school ever, mostly picked on by black people. Oh, look at you, all light-skinned, thinking you're better than us. And I'm like literally sitting there quiet. First day of school, I don't know anybody there. So who's this idiot trying to talk to me? And Craig Suter, still remember his name. We grew up together, school, high school, junior high, all that mess. And I'm not going to let somebody pick on me. So he realized, okay, well, I can't pick on him. So he picks on the smallest person in the class, little white boy. I wasn't going to have any of that because, as I said, I don't like bullies, period. And so I went and defended the little boy. We're all 5 years old, but he was little. Craig was a big black kid. And I got in his face. It's like, leave him alone. Well, it's none of your business. And I'm making it my business. And he starts coming at me at this point, which I end up beating the shit out of him. And I do mean beating the shit out of him. Damn near killed him, as a matter of fact. But this was 1975. So, we didn't get in trouble for shit back then. Which, to tell you the truth, I think schools should go back that way. Leave these kids alone. If a bully is a bully and he ends up getting his ass beat, teachers should stay the fuck out of it. Now, if the bully beats up the other person, then yeah, suspend the bully, expel the bully. But why are you going to go after the other person who all he did was defend himself? He didn't start it. He just defended himself and literally beat the shit out of the bully who was coming at him, which is exactly what he should do. The real world. The only way to stop a bully is for somebody to basically whip that bully's ass to where they're like, oh, okay, I ain't gonna do this no more. By you also punishing the other person, well, he didn't have to whip his ass. Actually, yes, he did. He did have to whip that boy's ass so that boy doesn't come back again. Obviously, y'all must have forgot childhood or something. That's how bullies work. Well, I'll just get him after school. No. Beat the shit out of that bully. They won't come back. But you dumbass liberals been changing shit since the, mid to late 80s, fucking up the entire damn planet, making everything weaker. That is not how the world is supposed to work. Just because we have technology, like Wall-E, not to that level, of course, but just because we have technology doesn't mean that we let the technology rule us. We still are human. We are still biological creatures. Survival of the fittest. Now, I understand if you want to, and I admire those people who are handicapped. My friend Ronnie Deerstein, very capable, did a dumbass thing trying to hop the train, got caught, fell off the train, got caught in the middle, and got his legs cut off. Boy has multiple black belts, muscular as fucking hell, no legs, but will whip your ass. He didn't let anything stand in his way. One of my other friends, Chris Ramsey, had muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis. I can't remember which one, but it was a deteriorating disease. The whole time we were growing up, didn't let anything stand in his way. One of my best friends. Miss him to this day. As the disease fully started taking over, I mean, we'd still ride bikes. We'd still do everything we could. Then, of course, reality really has to set in, where he had to accept that he couldn't do anymore. And for the whole time, as I said, we grew up as children together, and then we're now adults. But the whole time growing up, don't ever treat me any different. Don't ever treat me any different. That would be more insulting to me. And we were like, yeah, we get you. Something happened where one day, I guess his handicap really just got to him. And out of nowhere, for no reason, this was at what we called the crew house back home. Basically, a bunch of teenagers renting out this house in this really nice neighborhood. And we had a lot of parties. We had a great time. We're all underage, but we're drinking. And, this is when I did drink a lot back then. At least at the house, not going somewhere else. If I was going to drink, it was at a place I knew I could stay there. There were a couple of times I made a couple of mistakes, so I'm not going to say I'm like some perfect, never did anything wrong. I don't smoke. I tried smoking 4 times. Tried pot 4 times. Tried speed once. Never did anything else more than that. By the time I became like 20, 21, I was like, I don't need any of that shit. I'm high on life. That's just me. When I say I don't drink, I may drink like a shot of tequila or 2, depending, and it literally depends on because I've been a singer pretty much my entire life. Now, it's a kind of a cheating way to do this, but I'm an adult now. You take a shot of tequila with minus the salt with the lime, and it helps to loosen your vocal cords. It's a cheat, and it actually could damage you if you don't actually, exercise your vocal cords normally. But anyway, just giving my background. So I'm not some perfect person or whatever, by far, but that I have made mistakes, but my own willpower. I don't need this. The whole just say no was laughable to me. Laughable in the sense of, why can't people just say no? See, those people are just weak to me. Mark, not everybody is like you. Not everybody has that willpower or whatever. Why not? Why not? I'm not Superman. I ain't doing shit that the rest of you can't fucking do. So why can't you just say no? Why do you got to be drunk every damn time I see you? Why do you have to have a cigarette? I was watching when I was at the VA, this whole anti-smoking thing on the VA channel. And I'm laughing at it because I consider those people even weak. Because you listen to them. Oh, well, when I first started, it was because of my friends and peer pressure. Why'd you let your friends fucking control you? Are you that weak? Are you still that weak? Well, you can't quit cold turkey. Why not? You do realize, I mean, this is in everything. I will not let anything become an addiction to me. The moment it becomes an addiction, the moment I feel it becomes an addiction, and that's even food, I'm like, I'm done. Takis. Let me say this before I cut this video, keeping them around 30 minutes. Takis are delicious as hell. And a few people around the rest of the country that don't know what Takis are, it's a Hispanic thing. It's like Doritos, but woo, spicy. And damn, they are so fucking good. But if you eat enough of them, they actually start to damage your mouth, like literally deteriorate your mouth, the spice. And when I realized, that's when it dawned on me. I'm like, okay, this has become an addiction eating this shit, because it's actually harming me. Cigarettes, alcohol, drugs. When the doctors try to give, like literally trying to, it's funny how the VA turns around and says, oh, we're anti-narco. We're trying to give out pain meds. We're anti. Bullshit. Straight up bullshit. They keep trying to shove that shit down my throat instead of actually fixing the problem. They are lying their asses off. Yes, they still have us do our labs and everything to make sure that it's not overloaded on our system. That's how they're way around that shit. But they're still trying to shove that shit down our throats. Pain meds, pain meds, pain meds. Why don't you just fucking fix the problem? But here's the thing. Years ago, when they kept literally trying to shove that shit down my throat, this is before all the anti-narco stuff, I realized what that stuff does to me. For one, it doesn't really work for me for pain, but it also clouds your mind and everything. It's a fucking drug. When I realized it was doing that, I quit cold turkey. So when people say, oh, pain meds, you get addicted. Fuck y'all. Weak people get addicted. Cigarettes, alcohol, drugs. Weak people. And I'm going to piss off a lot of people by being like this and saying this shit. You're fucking weak. I smoked cigarettes, didn't get addicted. Oh, it only takes a couple of cigarettes. Well, I smoked, no, more than 4 actually, because I was doing cloves. So I smoked packs of cigarettes actually and didn't get addicted. Me and my friends drank a lot when we were underage, mind you, when you would get addicted, didn't get addicted. Well, then again, and see, oh, well, because I'm addicted because my parents were chain smokers. My parents were chain smokers, which is why I hated it, because it was nasty as shit. Smelled nasty, smelled up the house, smelled up everything. Well, I'm an alcoholic because my parents were alcoholics. I moved out here to El Paso to get away from my alcoholic family. My dad was an abusive alcoholic. My mom was just a straight up hardcore alcoholic. My brother's alcoholics. I moved all the way to fucking El Paso to get away from my alcoholic family. I was in that environment. You don't see me fucking addicted. Cigarettes, even though I grew up in secondhand smoke, in the house, in the car, everywhere, in the bars that my mom took me to growing up in. Cigarettes and alcohol everywhere. I grew up in bars. I'm not addicted to alcohol. I'm not addicted to cigarettes. My mom drank and smoked while she was pregnant. I'm not addicted to any of that shit because it's called fucking willpower. But back to the drugs, to the meds. Again, I took the shit like they asked me to, like they basically threw in my face. And hold on, let me make sure that this, because it will cut off eventually because of the whole whatever stuff will kick in, the timer and all that crap if it's quiet for too long. In the beginning, when they started just giving out drugs like candy and shit at the VA, I was taking them because I'm in constant pain. But then realized it's not really working for the pain because I actually have a weird metabolism that they found out now. Morphine doesn't work on me. Toradol, I'm highly allergic to. NSAIDs, I'm allergic to. Pain meds just don't really work on me. Epidurals that they did as far as my lower back don't work. They found out at the ER in Beaumont Hospital that morphine doesn't work on me. I was like, was this supposed to do something? Nurse was like, oh crap, you're one of those. I was like, what does that mean? And she was like, that morphine doesn't work on you. And so she went to give me Toradol. But the thing is, they had already found out like the year before that I was highly allergic to Toradol, that type of pain med. And I was like, so she had another needle. I was like, whoa, what's that? She goes, it's Toradol. And I was like, whoa, hold on a second. I think I'm supposed to remember something about this. And I had to call Michelle and I was like, hey, what is that medication I'm allergic to? She goes, Toradol. And the nurse heard that. She goes, she just kind of quietly put the needle down and everything. So as I said, I was given pain meds. And see, here's the thing when people get addicted. They're not addicted because of the pain. They get addicted because of the druggy feeling. So I could have still become addicted because it wasn't working for the pain anyway. But I still could have become addicted because of the feeling and the addiction and all the crap. But again, I didn't get addicted. As a matter of fact, every time they would give me the prescription, I'd rip them up. I had friends, Mark, give them to me. I'll take them. Do you know how much money you can make? Just sell them. Go get the prescription and sell the pills. And I was like, I ain't a fucking criminal. Screw you. I'd rip up the prescriptions for years. It wasn't until a sergeant major friend of mine who's now retired turned around and he knew. He knew. Because just by talking to me, he goes, you don't like pain pills. He goes, you don't like any kind of an addiction, do you? And I looked at him. He goes, what do you do with the prescriptions that they give you? And I said, I told him, I said, I tear them up, I throw them away. He goes, don't do that. And I was like, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, do you know that counts against you in your disability? If you don't turn in the prescription, they're just basically going to go, oh, he's okay. And I'm like, but I'm not okay. They have my freaking medical records. They know I'm not okay with the injuries and everything else. He goes, yeah, but they want you to take the pain prescriptions. And I was like, isn't that counterintuitive? Don't they want you to don't they want to try and help you get better? Don't they want you to get better? He was like, no, they just want you addicted to pills to shut the hell up. That's it. And so, yeah, cigarettes grew up with, alcohol grew up with, meds was giving them to me like freaking candy through the VA. Still didn't get addicted to shit. But that's my background. When people want to say or ask why I am the way I am, why I'm so hardcore when it comes to my views on stuff, is because I seriously just do not like excuses for dumb shit. I'm addicted to alcohol because of this. I was in that environment. I'm not addicted. I'm addicted to cigarettes because of this. I grew up in that environment, probably way worse than you. And I'm not addicted. You know, there's a ton of excuses that people, you know, there's a lot. And as I said, I'm kind of getting off subject completely, but I wanted to get into my background of things going forward with my videos to be posted. You know, I love Steven Crowder and Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro. You know, I love their views on things. I have never seen them get twisted. I have never seen them get liberals, Democrats. Y'all get freaking a stutter, like freaking a, you know, like it's like you're born with a stutter, you know, kind of thing. They never get stumped. But the thing is, they're all younger than me. I'm 49. So their views are good. Their views are great. Their views are fine. But they're also views coming from that younger generation, a younger generation that still didn't even go through half of the shit that I did. So still great that they're open-minded, still they got their views. But I was like, why aren't there more like me? Why aren't there more people my age giving, in black, mind you, giving our views? It's young black people. You notice, though, when it comes to the Democrat and the liberal side, it's the older liberals that are giving their views, but it's the younger blacks giving counter views. The Hodge twins. I was like, no. We need more like me. As a matter of fact, there's another video that I'm going to be, after I go through this one eventually, there's one definite video, a man older than I am, black, former Democrat, former liberal, that was like, holy crap, and a Trump supporter now, that was like, holy shit, these Democrats, these liberals are a bunch of fucking idiots. He was on that lie. You know, he was on the tit of the Democrats, feeding off that shit, and then realized they're lying to all of us. And he started giving his views from his age, from his experiences in life, and saying the same shit I'm saying, which is you young blacks have no idea what real racism, real adversity, you'll have no idea what we went through. But you complain like you lived what we did. And even if you did live what we did, you still come off as a weak ass bitch, just letting it control you instead of just overcoming. So either you blacks are really just that retarded, the ghetto ones, Maxine Waters, you know, and all that. Either y'all really are that stupid, or you know you're lying. There's only two choices here. Either you really are that stupid and you believe the bullshit of the Democrats, your fellow Democrats, you believe the bullshit of the liberals, you're being mind controlled. Oh, wait, nope, there's other options. You're being bribed or forced, or you actually know the lie, whether you're being forced or not, and don't have the balls to actually stand up for shit. I've been threatened. I have almost died numerous times. Almost died June 18th and was still cracking jokes as I'm dying right there in the trauma unit, because that's how hardcore I am. I don't give a fuck. I've had guns put to my head. I've been stabbed. I don't give a shit. My whole idea is come at me, bro. I'm 49, but I am by no means weak. Second Amendment, gun owner, hunter, martial artist, and yeah, military. I am potentially a killer. Trained. I didn't go to no black belt factory. I love Chuck Norris. I do. But his schools are shit. We used to whip their asses in tournaments all the fucking time. Those are black belt factories where you pay for your black belt. You don't actually learn shit, which is why we whip their students' asses in fucking tournaments all the damn times, because they didn't actually learn anything. They just paid for a black belt. Oh my God, I went to a Chuck Norris school. I know how to fight. Right. Yeah. Okay. No, I went to real martial arts schools where it was like you use this in the street. This no on the mat tournament. You use this in the street. That's what we learned. How to survive the way martial arts is supposed to be. Self-defense, not the fucking Karate Kid, where you just fight for a fucking tournament. You only hit here. You know, no. No, real martial arts. When I joined the military, I'd been in martial arts since I was like 5. When I joined the military, I loved one of the instructors. I can't remember his name right now, one of the drill sergeants. But he literally was like, he goes, we don't want y'all to just get in the dumb. We want you, because your soldiers follow orders. We want you to fight when we tell you to fight. But if something should happen, this was during the whole hand-to-hand combat part of the course and everything, which I was like, I'm already laughing at this point, because in the martial arts schools I went to, we dealt with, because growing up in Norfolk, Virginia, where everything military is there. Marines, Navy, Air Force, Army, everything is there. And Parks Taekwondo School right there on Little Creek Road, when I was going there for the time being, because it's right there. Parks Taekwondo, right across from one of the major shopping centers, Southern Shopping Center, something like that, right there. So you'd see all these Navy guys and Marines and everybody. We're in the school, and here they come in like all badass Marines and stuff, like, yeah, we want to take classes, y'all ain't all that. We're Marines. We fuck y'all up and shit. Oh my God. Master Parks would turn around and be like telling the white belt, literally like, okay, like take off your shoes, get on the mat. To the Marine. Oh my God, this was one great story. Telling the Marine, like, okay, like, because they thought like it was gonna be like a back down kind of shit. And Master Park was like, no. You take off your shoe, come out here on the mat. And he points to one of our white belts. He goes, okay, you get on the mat. You spot. And the Marine turns around and is all like, he's a white belt. I'm a Marine. I'll kick his ass. Master Park, no. You're fine. That white belt beat the shit out of that fucking Marine. Beat the shit. And not even an adult. This was a teenager, mind you. Beat the shit out of this Marine. Master Park goes, we know real martial art here. Not your dumbass Marine bullshit. Not your 2-week hand-to-hand combat course that you fucking dumbasses do, thinking that you're Marines and you're all that. You only do hand-to-hand combat for like a week or 2. I know this because I was Army. They only did hand-to-hand combat for like a week or 2. You think just because you join the Army, all of a sudden you just gain combat knowledge out of the air and shit? So I'm laughing as they're giving their instruction, which I already knew this was coming. I grew up military. I'm a Navy brat. So I already knew that the combat course, the hand-to-hand combat course, was only going to be like a week or 2. So I'm already laughing. I've been in the martial arts for almost 20 years at that point. Gangs, all of that shit, street fights. So wasn't no just Karate Kid school martial arts. This was straight up street fighting, survival, self-defense. And I'm laughing. I'm trying to keep my composure and everything else, and they're doing this, whatever. I ended up correcting one of the drill sergeants, the same one that I thought was hilarious, because he literally said, we don't want you to fight unless we tell you to fight because you're soldiers. But if it comes down, because, you're Army, you're military, there's going to be bar fights and stuff. As I said, I grew up military. I grew up on base as far as my teens because I still had my dependent card. So I'd be at the clubs on base. And yes, so I knew that aspect I was a Navy brat, and I knew that aspect of the military. Bar fights all the time because the military getting drunk all the fucking time. And there's bar fights all the fucking time. So I'd already grew up with that stuff. And so he's talking about if it's a bar fight, he goes, there's no fairness. He goes, talk your way out of it. He goes, we want you to talk your way out of it because we're paying you to be soldiers. We are paying millions of dollars to train you and everything else. So you are a commodity. You are basically the property of the military, of the government. So we don't want you to get hurt. But if you can't talk your way out of it, fuck it. Grab a beer bottle, grab a chair, And we were like, and I was laughing because I was like, I'm actually surprised they actually said that shit. I like this dude. He was like, hey, it's a fight. Pick up a chair, pick up a bottle, throw a person at him, no, whatever. But as he started giving the instruction, that's when I was like, okay, he's getting a lot of stuff wrong. Like the first thing he did was had a soldier throw a punch at him, and he corrected him, which turned out to be a straight punch, but he extended his arm completely. And I was like, damn, I remember as a child, you don't ever do that shit. You don't you don't extend your arm fully completely, because a martial arts can literally just turn around and just go snap, just snap your arm at the elbow. And because I remember when I was taught that lesson of the martial, not that he went like this, but he literally just went and tapped my elbow, and I was like, oh shit. He goes, and that's why you don't extend your arm completely. You punch through the target, but you don't extend your arm completely. And so I start trying to and he's like, what do you got to say, Private? And I was like, because I realized I can't just be quiet. And I was like, I got to say something. I turned around and I was like, Sergeant, you're doing that wrong. And I ended up, I'm giving the short version because battery's low and I got to plug in the laptop so I can get to the next video, which has gone way longer than I wanted to. As I said, I want to try and keep these to, around 30 minutes. But I ended up correcting him, and he got pissed. You see all these stripes and these chevrons and everything. Do you know how many combat years and everything? And I turned around and said, how much of that is actual combat time? How much of that is actual fighting, physical, street fighting, melee fighting? And he was like, I don't know. I said, well, unless it accounts for like 20 years, I don't think you've got the experience I've got. And we can get out here in the circle and spar, and I'll prove it to you. And he was like, so one of my sergeants, Sergeant Nadu, comes over and it was like, I don't think you want to mess with Brown. I don't think you want to mess with him. And it just, even the drill sergeants were like, no, we ain't fucking with that dude. That dude's got way more years of fighting experience than we have as far as hand to hand. So anyway, again, more background stuff, whatever. As I said, I just don't like bullshit. In the next one, I should actually, in part 3, get to the actual video. All right? Peace until the next one.